Welcome to Facebook for the Blind, your look at the downfall of Western civilization through the best memes we can find each week.
You got this. Hit it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the... Somebody stepped on me.
You like it, you masochistic bitch.
I don't. You're projecting again.
Yep. Go get the stilettos.
Ladies and gentlemen, neither and both. Welcome to an episode of Facebook for the Blind, a show for the visually and Facebook in. I'm your humble host, Eric, joined by my lovely co-hosts, Andrew and Michael. They're going to have some funny memes. But first, I'm going to do the depressing news as quickly as I can. Start the clock. All right, first off today.
News.
The big thing was kamikaze drones hitting Kiyv, despite Putin's claim of no further airstrikes. Not only that, apparently they were targeting the heating supplies for the people of Ukraine and Kiyv. So just war crimes. Fresh buzzing drone attacks. I couldn't even get a body count on. The drones, by the way, were made in Iran, which is weird. And then Iran came out and said, well, those aren't our drones. But they were like, yeah, but there's Persian writing on them. They're your drones. Like, oh, well, we didn't sell them to them. So anyway, very weird. And speaking of Iran, at least 8 people were killed in the fire at Iran's notorious Evin prison. That's the one in Tehran where they keep all the political prisoners, which keeps coming up a lot because of all the protests and riots over there. Because that's where they send, those uppity women that don't wear their hijab in public. So God knows what all is going on over there, but I hope the Persian people are fed up enough to knock these guys out of power. Speaking of people who should be knocked out of power, down there in Florida, the governor DePenis, his migrant relocation program planned to transport 100 or more immigrants to Delaware and Illinois. So he was planning on doing all this stuff, and he was interrupted by a hurricane that actually required him to be the governor of Florida. Fun. Friend of the show, Chris Green. I only threw this in because Nan knows. He is talking about a very momentous time at the Supreme Court. He is a very active animal rights worker, and there are all kinds of decisions that are coming up in the Supreme Court dealing with animal rights. And I know you're saying to yourself, but that's not really my thing. Andrew, this is going to affect bacon. Moving on. Friend of the show, Steve Rendell, I don't know, we're all cheering that Tulsi Gabbard, former representative from Hawaii and a presidential candidate, who was one of my favorite people to highlight because she was the only person who talked about, shrinking the Defense Department budget, ending war, bringing troops home, just all kinds of things you just never hear in the media at all. Anyway, she has finally declared that she is no longer in the Democratic Party now that it is, and I quote, under the complete control of an elitist cabal of warmongers driven by cowardly wokeness. So those really woke warmongers are just too much for Tulsi. So she's going to go take herself a big gig on Fox News, I'm sure, and make lots of money. Hey, but some people are getting consequences. As we're going to press, Steve Bannon could get 6 months in prison, the government says. And we're all cheering for it. Prosecutors want 6 months. We want 6 months. Everybody wants 6 months. In another Supreme Court, in another court rebuff, the special master said that Trump's Mar-a-Lago records and claims lack substance. So that has been rejected. Judge Raymond Deary suggested the assertions of privilege by the ex-president lack evidence for a ruling to be made in his favor. So, boop, you lose, loser. Speaking of losers doing dumb things, Herschel Walker flashed a fake police badge at the debate and gets trolled online. In a debate, where he was basically called out for not being a member of law enforcement, he pulled out his badge that he was given as an honorary member of law enforcement. And then the Sheriff's Association that gave him the badge said, no, that's actually honorary. And when a reporter followed up with him and said, but the people who gave you that say it's honorary, he said, well, they're wrong. Speaking of weird comeuppance for bizarre bros, El Salvador's Bitcoin experiment, $60 million lost, $375 million spent, very little to show for it. That's so weird. The third world country fell for Bitcoin and the bajillion dollars off. I'm so sorry for that. The AP News, I don't know if you caught this one, but the Governor Whitmer kidnap trial, the judge dismissed a juror that she accused of flirting. That's right. Look at this defendant here in the tie. That's sexy hunk of man meat here. Was attracting a juror, and apparently they were like winking, eye faces at each other or something. But to the extent that enough other attorneys and people in the court noticed, and they dismissed the juror, which I didn't know was a thing. Oh yeah, and in important news, the governor's kidnapping trial still cranking on. Don't know if you guys saw this one. Elon Musk has been given Starlink internet service to the people of Ukraine. And he asked the Pentagon if they would cough up maybe $10 million for that, because the Pentagon's buying a lot of bullets and missiles and sending those over to Ukraine. He's like, hey, man, can I get a piece of this action? And the Pentagon said, no. Then he was just like, oh, well, fine. So he's like a petulant little bitch, but he's going to keep providing internet. So let's all cry free. Oh, right. That is in the wrong place. Here's a weird one. Lauren Boebert denies the claim that she shot and killed the neighbor's dog. Did you all hear this? Yeah. Politician shot her neighbor's dog. I mean, whenever a politician denies something, I assume they did it. And yet, Boebert is clearly favored to win Colorado's 3rd district. I mean, just, you can even shoot a dog these days. That's how fervent the cult is. I don't know if you guys are catching that, but yeah, that's weird. Speaking of culty people, you guys remember last week when we were talking about Kanye getting banned from Twitter because he was declaring DEFCON 3 on the Jewish people and complete lunatic? Well, so he got kicked off Twitter. So he then announced that he was going to buy Parler, and he was being coddled and encouraged quite a bit by Candace Owens. I don't know if you remember Candace Owens, but at Paris Fashion Week, Candace Owens and Kanye showed up in White Lives Matter shirts because she's an attention whore. And you might wonder, wow, it's really weird. Why would you get so much attention and go so far out for Kanye? But it is a little bit easier to explain that Candace Owens' husband, George Farmer, is the CEO of Parler. So it's not so much, coming out to support your friend as exploiting your rich, mentally ill associate. They're going to sell Parler to Kanye, which is losing people, losing money, losing everything. But she and her husband will do fine. So the really big news last week was at the January 6th Select Committee hearings. A lot of people said they sprung an October surprise. It was actually, a pretty decent season finale. It was a clip show. It was a wrap up. It was a highlights of the season kind of a thing. And probably the biggest thing that came up that was pretty crazy was that the Secret Service deleted all of the text. And then when they wanted to talk to ORNATO about it, he just quit and went into the private sector. I also found out that the Secret Service was forewarned repeatedly for weeks before January 6th that the Oath Keepers were there, that they wanted an insurrection, that they were heavily armed, that they had murderous intent. So this was not an intelligence failure. Secret Service clearly had all of that information. And multiple people were saying that there was evidence of presidential involvement. And then, of course, the climax of the entire episode, a subpoena for Trump, which is great. But I really want to see Oprah up there talking about you get a subpoena and you get a subpoena and everybody gets a subpoena. And until then, I shall not be satisfied. And that's pretty much the news for Facebook for the Blind for October 18th, 2022. Now handing it over to my exceptionally quiet and muted during my comedic news depressing headlines. Quiet Michael. Oh, wait, I forgot one last one. October 13th, Daily Show headline, Kanye West, Tommy Tuberville, and LA City Council all competed on the amazing racism.
That's a good joke. I'll have you know that I was not quiet during your news. I just didn't know I was muted. So we're starting off with Dumb Bitch Juice.
Hey!
Round one.
Show Dumb Bitch Juice.
This is a picture of a white woman wearing sandals and a hippie dress, and she has long white person dreadlocks. And it says, if you can't handle me when I'm broke, you don't deserve me when I have $60. Trash Can Paul, friend of the show, Trash Can Paul. We love Trash Can Paul. If you're not following Trash Can Paul, then you fucking should be. He says it's a picture of Vlad the Impaler. Trash Can Paul says, it's never too late to start believing in yourself. Vlad the Impaler didn't even start impaling people until his mid-30s. So
There you go.
there you have it. It's another Trash Can Paul. It's just a picture. It's just a picture of Gandalf the Grey with huge tits. There's just nothing else to say. Do we need to? Was there more to say about that, Andrew?
I'm just so confused, man. Like
Oh yeah.
it's making me feel tingly, but it's also repulsive. Like I don't get it, man.
Let me explain. It's Gandalf the Grey.
Yeah.
But if he had huge tits.
Huge, gigantic mommy milkers.
That's right. Diego Lopez, friend of the show, Diego Lopez says, because of inflation now, there are 7.5 wolves inside of you. It's chaos, and no one is cleaning up in here. Jesus memes for liberation. Say, when she's a perfect 10, and it's a picture of Hank Hill, and there's a woman wearing a bikini, and he's holding his hand out, telling her to stop. And it says, when she's a perfect 10, but she still thinks inflation came from the COVID unemployment benefit. And Hank says, I'm going to have to reject your advances. Kristen at Hexprax says, fuck small talk. I want to talk about the name of your first pet. What street you grew up on. Your mother's maiden name. I got 2 more memes for this round. This one's from Calms Comics. It's a guy leaning against the bar. We see the back of him. He says, did it hurt? And someone off panel says, excuse me? And he turns and lowers his sunglasses and says, when you fell from heaven. And then we see who he's talking to, and it's like a biblically accurate angel, like a wheel within a wheel with eyes everywhere and wings everywhere. And then the final panel is him holding his sunglasses, and his face and eyes have caught fire. At NCT Cookie says, I have a scary joke about math, but I'm too squared to say it.
Wow.
That's too squared.
Painful.
That's a smart dumb joke.
Because it sounds like too scared, but it's actually 2 to the power of 2 squared. Last one for this round, Trash Can Paul. The picture of John Lennon, then a picture of God. Next to John Lennon, it says, John Lennon, quote, imagine there's no heaven. God, quote, imagine there's no John Lennon. That's all I got for round 1. Fuck the Beatles. Over to you, Pete.
It is fascinating to me how fervently dislike the Beatles and why we never heard about it before. Is there something that's brought it up out of curiosity?
I want you to know, I go on the first anti-Beatles campaign that I went on was in high school.
Okay.
And no, that's wrong. Junior high, my first anti-Beatles campaign. Turns out people get really fucking mad when you start saying things like the Beatles are shit, or the Monkees were a huge influence on the Beatles, which is a joke from Dumb and Dumber. But yeah, people got like offended by that. And so then I kind of laid off for a while. I was like, okay, I actually went through and listened to the Beatles. I've listened to like every Beatles album that's out just to have an informed opinion. Anyway, I'm not going to go through it all, but basically, yeah, I go on these anti-Beatles rants. It's what's in my heart. And then I have to back off because I start feeling isolated and alienated from the world because people really, really love the Beatles.
Yeah, I think you should feel alien.
Nah, they're not that good. I my real opinion about the Beatles is that they suck.
Hilarious.
So I just have to say something, Michael, because
See, it's a religion for these people. Go ahead, man.
No.
Tell me about my
No, you're not letting me finish, Michael. You're not letting me finish. So
it is technically our show. Go ahead.
I have to say, I haven't really liked the Beatles that much either. I mean, they're okay. Like I'm more of a Stones fan or Led Zeppelin fan, but I've been watching the Hard Day's Night documentary, the 3-part documentary, and I have I won't say much more respect. Maybe I do. It's phenomenal to see how in like 2 weeks with like just fragments of songs they can come together and produce something so great. And I will say, like all these years, I've always thought that like, oh, John Lennon was like the big boy in the group or whatever, like he was the really talented one. But when you watch A Hard Day's Night, Paul McCartney.
It's Paul McCartney. Yeah, like, he's a songwriter. Yeah.
I mean, he's brilliant. He's like, and then George Harrison is like the next best one. John Lennon is kind of like underneath those.
That's
two.
actually, that's the truth is my real problem with the Beatles is John Lennon. You're exactly right.
No, the real problem with the Beatles for me is Yoko Ono.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Okay, because if you watch
John
Hard Day's
Lennon,
Night,
John Lennon was an elitist piece of shit.
well,
He was an elitist
but
piece
when
of
you
shit.
watch this Hard Day's Night, and maybe it's both of them, you watch this, they are just freaking too codependent. Like, because I was in Codependence Anonymous for 4 years. I know a codependent relationship, fucked up codependent relationship, like really weird codependent. Anyways, that's my 2 cents about the Beatles.
All I have to say, like, I think I would like to amend my initial statement and say instead of saying fuck the Beatles, I want to say fuck the Beatles, especially John Lennon.
There you go.
That seems fair.
There you go.
That's as diplomatic as I can get. There you go. That's all I got.
And I might throw
off to you, TD.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yes, that's right. And I got it right.
It's time for TD's infamous short round one.
Now for short round one with Tiny TD.
Okay. Doing round one, the wholesome round, as we call it. And
the wholesome round. Trademarked, patented segment of Facebook.
And I went for the most wholesome ones I could find right off the top here. Start off with Deborah M. post a picture is like a mugshot of a woman. She's kind of got like the junior Karen haircut, but we'll call it like the Becky because it's not blonde. And she got this smirk look on her face, and it says, "Naked woman chases Jehovah's Witnesses off of her porch and down the street yelling, 'Succumb to my devil vagina magic.'" And I don't know if we should be or worshiping her as a god.
That's fantastic.
That's like the best way I've ever heard to get rid of a Jehovah's Witness. Other than like drawing a chalk outline of a human body, putting some crime scene tape and sprinkling some religious pamphlets around.
Right.
Okay, all right, moving on.
All right. Next.
Other direction, senor.
Oh, lo siento, querido.
Okay. Also, continuing the wholesome round. It says, when you think your job's shit, just remember you could be Maria the dildo dipper. And it shows a woman working at a dildo factory taking a particularly large and girthy product and dipping the head of it, if you will, into a solution. It makes it less of the fleshy color and more of a pinkish color. And that's all I want to talk about that. Thank you very much. Moving on next.
Let me get some of that dip.
Okay, friend of the show, Disney After Dark, post proof the new Mario movie wasn't made by Pixar. On the left, we have a picture of, I believe, GameCube era Mario, which is like a dump truck of a just popping ass, just big old pieces of cake. And then you go to the right, where it's a picture from the new Mario Brothers movie they got coming out, and he looks like a frog stood on his hind legs and tried to put on a pair of pants. Just flat ass syndrome, no cake.
Dude, that is Hank Hill's ass. Yes,
and you all know that Pixar loves to make badonkadonk. That's their thing. So yeah,
they really do. And I just want to say that as a person with concave ass, I appreciate the representation. I
feel you on that one. All right. Memes posted a bite from a Brazilian wandering spider can cause an erection that lasts up to 4 hours. And it's this ginormous, creepy looking spider with big old looking fangs on someone's arm. And then some anonymous person commented on the fact that the spider bite can give you a 4-hour boner. He goes, "We really need to save the Amazon." And I think that's what's going to motivate these people, these rich white people, to get off their ass and like actually make some change for the rainforest. Is a spider to make their dick harder than Chinese algebra. Okay, safe word. Friend of the show, Barb Huffer, she posts something from I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and it's just got a picture of Bert from Sesame Street, just with the 100-yard stare. For you veterans out there, you know what I'm talking about. And it just like superimposes just like he's having a flashback to like Vietnam or something with the helicopters and troops and everything. And it just says retail workers once Mariah Carey starts singing. We're only about 5 weeks out from the Christmas music, folks. It's coming. My retail workers, I used to be one of you. I understand. You'll get through this. Oh man. Friend of the show, Jason Jester, posted a picture of Roger the alien from American Dad. He's all beat up. He's got bandages, bruises, black eye, holding a glass of wine and a cigarette, and it just says, when she does Kegel exercises, and Roger's going, I got beaten up by a taco.
Oh, God.
The best Roger I can do, guys.
That was a great Roger. Well done.
Which is really just Paul Lynn. Okay, the last one I got. Thank you. The last one for this round I got is from Disgruntled Vets Nation. Follow them. You'll laugh. You'll cry. You'll go, what the fuck? But it's got a picture of a young woman, probably, mid-20s, early 30s, maybe somewhere in there, kneeling on a beach next to a kangaroo. And it says they are cute and harmless, but they look cute and harmless and whatnot, but they are loud, incredibly expensive to keep, and absolutely untrainable. The other one is a kangaroo, and I really don't know anything about kangaroos. I can cut. That's what I got for the wholesome round.
All right.
Sizemore, go.
Okay. Oh yeah, you say it like I can just immediately turn it off and turn it on again. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
I was just fucking with you, buddy.
We gotta get Jason Jester on this show, man. I
We
fucking
do.
love that guy.
He posts the best meme.
He's fucking great.
All right. No,
I haven't talked to him in so long.
I forget who that is.
Big old boy from Pekin.
Jukebox. He does a lot of jukebox comedy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
He makes me look like a medium.
Big old boy.
All right. Well, for the wholesome round, sticking with that, here are a few things that I set aside because they were wholesome. This is the four-legged tree in Cedar Falls, Iowa, care of Weird Pictures and Everything. 100 years ago, John Herring planted 4 trees. He wanted to bring back like some archways from his, home of Berlin, and he grafted these together. And there are 4 archway trees grafted together. I mean, it's got a pretty good trunk there. 3 of them pretty thick. One of them's thin. One of the front right trees died, and he had to replace it and grafted it in. Hence the lesser girth of that trunk. The four-legged tree in Cedar Falls, Iowa, 100 years old, actually 107, and I thought I would share it.
That's dope, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
From The Onion, America's only news source. Study finds goosebumps caused by psychotic weirdo masturbating to old photo of you. We have a picture of goosebumps, and I'm getting them now. This next one's from D. Earl Stevens at Earl of Enough. Says, note, if you believe the party that attacked our country, beat up cops, tried to kill the VP and speaker, stole top secret documents, and tried to burn our democracy to the ground, is going to stop crime in this country, well, I got an honorary badge to show you.
That's a fucking good joke.
That's a good one.
That's a good joke.
Friend of the show, Mark Ziepezauer, shared that one with the caption, all part of the Biden crime wave. Oh, so fun. And one of my favorite responses to all kinds of Herschel talk all this week, this picture here, where he's at the debate and he's holding up his honorary badge and it says Paw Patrol. I gotta tell you what, checked in with my local Tea Party barometer, who I like to to bounce ideas across, just see what they're saying over there in the red MAGA hat. And Mom said, yes, but Herschel Walker, the sheriff got on, and the sheriff of Johnson County, he said, well, if there's an emergency, he can come. So it's not fake. It's not bogus. I was like, it's honorary. The association said it's honorary. And he said the association that gave him the badge is wrong. Anyway, that's what's happening over there. That's what's happening over there, folks. Hey, friend of the show, Mike Kaplan, came through town a while back. Mike, thanks for listening to the show.
Love you, Mike.
He posts this. These are LinkedIn's top picks for jobs that it thinks I might want at the NFL, the NBA, and Major League Baseball. So we have top job picks for you. Senior Director, Social Campaign Management for MLB, Head of Game Production at the NBA in New York, and Director of Digital Media Business Development at the NFL. And Mike says, for anyone who's worried about the robot overlords coming to know us better than we know ourselves based on this algorithm, I think we got a good amount of time to prepare.
Yeah.
Oh, that is one hot take, Mike. Thank you so much. This one just another bit of wholesome stuff here from the buds, but that's a picture of the Round Bar restaurant up there that was a barbecue place. There's been a whole bunch of things. That's a picture of it before it was all that, just out in the middle of fields and stuff. It removed some scratches, enhanced it. It was pretty cool. You know what? I can't really describe this. It's a black and white photo of a round barn with some houses, and that round barn is now in the middle of a commercial. It looks funny to those of us who know. Here, sorry, wholesome part. Hey, here's a little post from Smile and Shine that says, if one door closes and another opens, your house is haunted. You need to run.
Yeah.
I like that. I never thought of that. Yeah. The Goodwill librarian passed along this picture says, I asked a librarian if they had any books on paranoia, and she whispered, they're right behind you.
Stupid.
This is a little point of clarification on the FB4tB, a weekly memecast page. Abs Enjoyer of Things says, all this squirt is pee, squirt isn't pee discourse. Squirt is a caffeine-free, citrus-flavored, carbonated soft drink created in 1938 in Phoenix, Arizona. And let's see if I can pop one more in here. This is just because I love funny headlines. This was actually my post with the most, so it's kind of funny. Futurism.com posts $1.2 billion metaverse, horrified by a report it only had 38 active users. So there's a picture of, I don't know, I guess Mark Zuckerberg's avatar. Is he's one of the few with legs, I guess. Maybe he's the one that
You got to change it. We can't see it.
Oh, no, you can't see it? Oh, for frack's
No.
Thank you. Okay. This is a great part of the show.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
These are the technical difficulties.
We got the best editing team in the business. We're good.
We do. Of all the editing teams for Facebook for the Blind podcast, we have the best.
Word.
This is amazing. I have zero idea how to get.
If you're listening to the podcast right now, you would never know that our show just came to a screeching halt. That's why, but you don't know that because you're hearing an edited version.
Yeah.
But right now in real time, the show is not happening.
I'm just gonna have to say that I already read you the headline, and that's as funny as it gets. Is that they spent close to $2 billion. There's 38 active users. It's just Mark Zuckerberg's avatar walking around in a circle, empty streets, nothing going on. My friend Steve Townsend says, wait till the homeless start begging for money on the street corner. Like, yeah, that's cool. Lastly, I just want to say, and this is just kind of a weird thing here, but one of the big parts of the January 7th hearing, I think is, they showed some behind the scenes footage from Pelosi's daughter, who actually had the foresight to have a film crew with her on January 6th when it all took place. So we got lots of behind the scenes, and we saw Nancy Pelosi on the phone with governors, calling up people, asking for police support, asking for National Guard support, trying to resolve the problem at October 6th. And, and not just watching TV, although at a certain point she is watching TV. They're breaking windows live on, but trying to work out jurisdictions and being really competent. And I just got to say that I was mad that this made me kind of like Nancy Pelosi, and that just doesn't sit well with me. Meanwhile, Chuck Schumer did chime in, and I still don't like it. But I asked again, checked in with my mom, and I said, did you see the video of Nancy on the 6th? And she said, oh, where she said she wanted to punch Trump out? Like, no. And I said, no, where she's calling and she's asking for troops to come in there. Says, oh, I thought they didn't want troops. So if you're wondering what the narratives are in the other universe, Nancy's competence, which irritates me, because it's so clearly being done right here.
Day, they're breaking the law in many different ways. And quite frankly, much of it at the instigation of the President of the United States. And now
I don't think that got on to right way. It irritated me to no end. It made me kind of like Nancy. I don't want to. With that, I'm going to hand it back to you, Michael, for round 2, the irreverent round.
So, first of all, hilarious round, Eric. Great job. Let's start with friend of the show. I'm just playing. It's been a rough week. Friend of the show, Adrienne Marie Brown. We love you, Adrienne Marie Brown. Thank you so much for the memes, the cards, the letters. Dear friend of ours. Picture of a couple walking on a nice trail in the middle of autumn. Leaves and shit around them. They're looking at each other lovingly and holding hands. She says, my lips are so dry. He says, doesn't that hurt when you walk? Her, what? Him, what?
So
It's
sick.
so stupid. This says, it's not attributed to anyone. It's just a white background with like black font. And it says, used to sneak out my house to go to parties. Now I sneak out of parties to go to my house. And I'll be damned if that is not exactly true. Wow. Here are, it says forbidden cats and formed in a triangle. There's a raccoon on the bottom left, a fox top and center, and then a red panda bottom right. These are forbidden cats. Trash Jones says, one time when I worked as a host at a fancy restaurant in L.A., Joaquin Phoenix's people called to try to book him a last-minute table for that night. And I said, more like walk in Phoenix. And they literally hung up on me. Stupid. Trash Can Paul, he's back. Says, people always say cyclists need to be more afraid of cars because in a collision, the car wins. Doesn't have to be like that. We can both lose. And it's a picture of a bicycle with a propane tank strapped to it. I got about 4 more memes for this round. I'm going to hand it over to TD. This is from Butt Stuff at DM Butt Stuff.
Yeah.
Who says, I'm never flying Spirit again. And you can see there's just a picture of some really creepy looking men's like legs and feet that are touching the ceiling. What is this? Is this monster feet?
I would say, as a man who wears size 13 shoes, those are very large looking feet.
I think this has got to be.
Granted, Spirit has very small looking airplanes.
Yeah, that's very true. I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to actually say that this is some kind of Halloween hat. Anyway, I'm with you, Butt Stuff. No surprise there. Lukewarm tweets at Luke Jarrett says, me. Actually, that's Frankenstein's monster. Friend, oh, my bad, puts down energy drink. Frankenstein, don't sweat it, bro. People used to say it's not Frankenstein, it's Frankenstein's monster. Anyway, quirked up George Costanza. That's quirked up George Costanza. George, listen, we don't know what we think about you yet. He says, I hate shower sex. The drain hurts my dick.
Oh,
Nice.
I think this is my last one for this round. Yeah, that's right. Jeff Melnick says, older kid just taught me to make fuck a contact in my phone so it stops autocorrecting me to duck when I text.
oh my!
I believe that
God.
children are the future.
That's
And
Holy
I got to
shit.
say, I tried it. It works.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I want one.
You can. You just put someone, just add a contact. I didn't even add a phone number. I just created a contact, named it fuck. Now my phone
Dude.
says fuck.
You
Like-
have to do fuck and fucking and all of the other ones as one person's name as a contact. You got to add
That's
all
it.
of the persons.
Right. That's a really good point. Because if I write motherfucker,
Dude,
it's not going to work.
do you know how
Yeah.
many different ways I say it? I can't do. That's an awfully long.
But every
word.
time, but thank you, legal counsel. To her point, every time you come up with one that doesn't work, you just edit the contact and add it to the name, and that's the last time you have that problem. So if you're like, I'm so tired of this fuckery, and it doesn't come up, then you just change fuck to fuckery, which actually sounds like a Mary Poppins song. Fuck
It
fuckery,
does sound
fuck
like-
fuckery,
yeah.
fuck fuckery.
My question though is, for this legal counsel, is she doing this pro boner, or do we have to do the retainer thing?
Hey! No talking about pro boners around our attorney. Okay.
Sorry, counsel.
No.
I made
no,
her laugh.
The way, Andrew, the way I understand it is we don't have to pay her because she has a retainer. Something about
Okay.
her
word.
teeth. I don't know.
Okay.
I dated a couple
okay.
girls with retainers.
We'll take it up between her and her orthodontist. Okay.
Her orthodontist somehow pays for our legal counsel. I don't get it either. It's
Man, how are
legal
you
stuff.
getting religion mixed up in all this?
Mumbo jumbo.
Not the methadones.
Saying talking about her orthodontist, priest or some shit. I mean, like strictly professional.
I don't think she goes to a United Methadone church or nothing. It's a different, it's completely separate orthodontics.
I don't know why I just got this in my head that somewhere out there is a legal drugstore called Friar Fentanyl. I don't know why. I'm gonna Google that after the show. Oh, right. You gotta run now. All right, you ready there,
Yeah,
TD?
hey, I'm just enjoying the ride there, Buttercup. All right, starting off number 2.
Who needs to go to?
Other
Okay.
round.
Okay, there we go. And you're on.
Okay, cool. Hey, friend of the show, the Bob and Tom Show.
Oh.
They have posted a picture here. It's a little tiny brown leaf floating in the bottom of a toilet there. And it says, absolutely disgusting. You go to use the bathroom and a vegan has left the floater. Eat a goddamn hamburger is what I'm saying. All right.
No.
Love hamburgers. All right. Friend of the show and friend of the universe, Tim Curry. Not the Tim Curry. Post. I totally respect your religious, that you're not religious, darling, as nor am I. If you could at least wait till I'm fucking dead, though, that'd be smashing. And that's a response to someone saying, I'm not religious, but I believe Tim Curry is having a good time in the afterlife. Tim Curry, still not dead.
Famously not dead.
You're famously still kicking. I love Tim Curry. All right.
Okay.
Next one we got coming up here is from I Am Awesome Sauce. It's got a picture of a little eyedropper, and it just says, eye drops are technically blinker fluid.
Boo.
Oh, come on. No, I love that shit. You know I love those coincidental motherfuckers. I Am Awesome Sauce making their second appearance in a row. Says, I always carry a pebble with me to throw at people who sing Christmas songs in October. I call it my Jingle Bell Rock. Come on, was that better, Michael? Come on, Labune.
I did like it better, actually. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Like I said, I love Christmas songs, but yeah, wait till Thanksgiving, guys. Come on. All right, House of Geekiness just posted like a little print of like a Victorian woman, we'll call it, working on like a wood stove making food, and it says, "Sorry, I've been a bad friend. I've been busy being an awesome hermit." And I feel this because I don't leave my chair if I can help it. Like I am one with my chair. I am a hermit. I love this shit, so I feel that one.
Nice.
Okay, moving on. Apparently that sucked. Okay, fuck off.
No, it just feels good. I'm the same.
Okay, gotcha. Friend of the show, Jason Jester, once again, just post a picture that he said, poor lady. It says, I'm so sick of people making fun of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Just leave her alone. And it's just a picture of a very leathery looking dog, the bounty hunter, just looking like a pair of just worn out saddlebags.
Isn't it weird that that Dog the Bounty Hunter, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Diamond Dallas Page all look exactly the same?
I have never seen the three of them in the same location. I'm just saying.
See,
it's
that's
like,
me too.
It's like Smash Mouth, Guy Fieri, and the guy from ICP.
Nice.
Moving on.
Boom.
All right. Alternative Disney posts a wonderful picture of, if you've seen the movies Utopia, they had the brilliant idea to put sloths working in the DMV. Well,
yeah.
here we have a picture of your very typical looking anywhere near you America DMV with a dude in a green shirt and a sloth mask. It says a DMV employee dressed up as a sloth, skull emoji, the laughing crying emoji. That man is, buy that man a beer or beverage of his choosing. Love that.
Sorry.
All right. Next up, we got next, here we go from a friend of the show, All Pro Lines. This is my last one for this round. All Pro Lines. You should follow them. Friend of the show, run by friend of the show, Kostaki Economopoulos, biggest name in comedy. He posted a picture of Tom Brady and soon-to-be ex-wife Gisele Bündchen looking at each other. And it says, usually when a Florida man and his wife have it out, it involves Jim Beam, crystal meth, a Waffle House, and an alligator. That tracks. Tom, not a friend of the show. I don't like you at all. You are a scumbag of a human being. I hope she takes all your money, bitch. And I don't even like her either.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm done. That's back to you, Sizemore.
Okay. All right.
So just off the top of my head here, next time we do this, we should put me in between TD and Sizemore.
I can lead off.
Have a Michael sandwich.
Here's what I think we need to have a kid that runs.
I already have 2 kids. I'm not having any more kids, especially not with you 2 fuckers.
Well,
Oh, come on. And I'd make a great mom.
You would, but fuck no.
I bake cookies like 2 or 3 times a
Look,
week.
I can't afford the kids I got. There's no way.
That's fair. That's fair.
No way.
oh shit. It's not quite the right one. God damn it. All right. Editing and post, same as I promised.
Yeah, we'll let it.
Sorry, guys.
I don't want a lot for Christmas.
Audience people, my apologies.
Labune,
I just got 2 new Christmas shirts yesterday in the mail. I am prepping for Christmas. I already got my holiday baking schedule planned out already. But I'm not ready for the music. Knock it off.
What is? Okay. Okay.
But it do. You need another. You need me to sing another verse.
I just
Spoiler. I don't know the word.
I just watched pages on reset them.
You mean look? You don't get around. That's it. You don't get around. What are we on?
Oh, because you're all like loaded for bear.
I'm ready. We can just skip over you for that one, and you can jump back in round 3.
I'm good.
You ready?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
You good? You got it?
I'm gonna do it.
All I want for Christmas is you. You ready?
I just want
All
my
right.
2 front teeth.
Round 2, the irreverent round. It is that time of year again when Fox News flips out and decides to tell us all that there are drugs in our Halloween candy. So this year, hot on the heels of the candy-colored fentanyl, which was really funny. That's all it was. It was candy-colored. It was disguised as candy. It wasn't being given out as candy, but they did wall-to-wall coverage of it. So now parents are freaking out about fentanyl. And hot on those heels, of course, are the memes, which are all essentially... Be sure to check your kids' candy this Halloween. Somebody tried to hide this piece of shit in this candy bar. We got a picture of Snickers on the end, and someone's taking a bite out of it. And in the end is Tucker Carlson with his "I want to see a manager" face on and looking. So anyway, I absolutely love this theme. It's just been huge. We've got this picture here, and it says, "Warning." Another Snickers bar snapped in half. Says, "Warning, parents, please check your kids' candy." Inside it says, "YouTube has begun hiding video advertisements inside Halloween candy this year."
Oh no.
Another one. This is a bowl of candy, a lot of Reese's, a lot of Crunch Bars, some Butterfingers, and oh, what is that little red book in there? Attention, parents, please be sure to check your children's candy this Halloween. I just found a copy of the Communist Manifesto hidden in my kid's bag under a Kit Kat.
Oh no.
That actually is a good idea.
And then things start to escalate. PSA, make sure you check the candy on Halloween. If you look closely, there's a razor hidden in this apple. Got an apple with a safety razor just stuck through it, like the handle is just very blurry and unobtrusive. And the thing is too, is that you know how these things work. There starts to be a bit of an arms race. It's like, oh, okay, if that was hidden in there, then we got to get bigger. So now we've got, attention parents, please be checking your kids' candy. I found this in a Twix. It's a Glock. I'm pretty sure that's a 9mm handgun with just some caramel stretched as though it were inside.
Very expensive.
Yeah, just
giving away on Halloween.
Other picture here, Snickers bar with a lit cigarette coming out the end. Just found this in my child's Halloween candy. Remember to check the trick-or-treat candy.
I'm going to throw this in there along with the gun. You know how much guns and cigarettes cost these days? You're not giving that away.
This next one's a bit of a series that I shared with our friend Dean. This first one is from Cullen and Katie. It says, "Parents, please don't forget to check your kids' Halloween candy. I just found a razor in MG's stash." We see candy spilled all over the floor and a razor clearly labeled razor scooter. and a dad squatting over it going, "Oh, how could this have happened?" Next off, "Parents, make sure to check your children's trick-or-treat bags this Halloween. I just found a belt-fed machine gun in mine." And then M60 and the rounds on the belt intertwined with some sweet tarts, some raisinets, a couple dum-dums, etc. And you're wondering, like, where could this go? Well, please check your children's candy very carefully this Halloween. Found an M4A3E8 Sherman tank in this box of Pocky. We see the tank. Now, I don't know if you know me very well, but Michael and I have a friend that whenever I see a razor, a belt-fed machine gun, a Glock, and a Sherman tank, I say, "I got to send this to Dean." To which he replied, "Those last 3 you could totally see in Paxton."
Yeah.
Not bad.
Especially the belt fed.
Those could all happen. Anyway, I thought that it couldn't go any further than the Sherman tank. No, I was totally wrong, because there we see ounces and ounces of weed with a Kit Kat in the middle. It says, "Attention, parents, I found all of this weed in my son's Kit Kat. Please check your kids' candy on Halloween. And the perfect response, be careful out there, guys. Just found Halloween candy in my medical marijuana. Big bag of buds with a Laffy Taffy inserted in the middle. I'm going to stick with the Snickers theme. I got 3 more left here and handing it back to you, Michael, man. My favorite this morning, AFSME posted, this is the Indiana AFL-CIO reposting AFSME, be diligent and check your child's candy this year. I found a union card in my daughter's Snickers. Now she's renegotiated her allowance and wants hazard pay for taking out the trash. No words. AFSME union card in the middle of the Snickers, which I thought was pretty good. And this was an interesting one that I was unaware of. This little 2-panel headline on Reddit says, Snickers to remove the big dick vein energy from its chocolate bars. And on the left, we see a Snickers that looks to be like one of those, I don't know, it's like a foot long and 2-3 inches wide. And I mean, there's more than one dick vein on that. I mean, there's like 3 or 4 or 5. I mean, there's 3 visible in the picture. Big dick vein energy on the Snickers bar. And then apparently Snickers has introduced a new one and it's just smooth.
I don't like it.
It is not as appetizing look.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It is not.
So anyway, and for the final round, the closer on this one, same picture with the foot long and the smooth one. This one is a 2-panel labeled the chocolate she tells you not to worry about. And you.
Yeah.
No, he don't mean nothing.
He just saying.
All right, how do I stop? Michael, take over.
I got it.
Thank you,
So round 3, the penultimate round, starts with Kim at Luna Kim, 2 M's, and it says, if you don't want me, there's the door. And then you see a door opening up to a brick wall. The ugly side of Tumblr. We love you, the ugly side of Tumblr, even if you are the ugly side of Tumblr. It's a picture of somebody who just got an Uber Eats notification, and it says, be prepared to meet Jesus outside. They did a huge impact font. It says, did Uber Eats just threaten me? And then Vixen, of course, says, your last supper has arrived. Fear of going out. Thank you for understanding me. They say, this is the kind of inspirational message that I need. And it's a picture of Oscar the Grouch with sunglasses on and like not quite aviators, but close. And it says, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called garbage can, not garbage cannot.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is a picture of a man who is looking very, very sad, frowning with his whole face. He looks like Gary Shambling. And it says, it takes 45 muscles to frown, but only 10 muscles to smile. Frown all day, lose weight, get ripped. From Zoot Goats. Acid Freak with a PH has a picture of this man who looks like he's got his nose in a glass of whiskey, and he's looking at the camera over the top of his glasses, and you see a woman doing something behind him. And it says, I once watched a YouTube video of a guy reviewing scotch while his girlfriend packed her shit and left him in the background. Just for the record, that's the Snickers with the vein right there. This is this is 3 panels. First, Samwise Gamgee, and he says, don't do it, Mr. Frodo. AutoZone will give you $10 in store credit. And then you see Frodo Baggins, who's at the very end of the movie, and he's holding up a car battery, and he says, it belongs at the bottom of the sea. And then the last thing you see is the car battery being thrown into the ocean, and Gollum is underneath it trying to catch it. Look, it looks like I cropped out who this is attributed to, but it's just judging by the content here, this is without a doubt Trash Can Paul. This says, it's a picture of the ocean with a circle and a line through it. And it says, stop exploring the ocean. We all know what water is, thanks. There's no single damn thing in there I want to see. We found everything that tastes good. 1, crab. 2, fried shrimp. And then lastly, 12,301,320 undiscovered jellyfish. Go to hell. I got 2 more for this round. Glow fuck yourself. Good to see you. Glow fuck yourself. Friend of the show, Glow fuck yourself. It's a picture of a young woman and a young man. They both have their hands up like, what? Kind of smiling. And it says, when he's a 10, but he accidentally got my mom pregnant when I was out of town, and they are keeping it. So now I don't know if he's my boyfriend or stepdad.
No.
What are you gonna do?
Sweet home
And
Alabama.
My last meme for the penultimate round, leaving only my post with the most. Jesus memes for liberation. We have Tucker, and for Fox News, Tucker Carlson tonight, and the reel says dangerous radical is a threat to American values. And then up in the corner we see this dangerous radical who's a threat to American values, and it's a picture of Jesus.
Racially accurate Jesus at that.
Yeah. Otherwise I would have said white Jesus.
Oh, fair enough.
It's just regular.
Fair enough.
It's
Fair
just
enough.
regular Jesus. Yeah.
Okay.
Like the
Well, you know,
time,
this
like
is
the
a
time-
show for blind people, so I was just making sure they got the description.
Listen, I'll never forget when my daughter was walking between me and my old man, and get TD's next setup ready.
Yeah, I got it.
And
Lock and load,
as we're walking into this church, and my daughter says, "Who's that a statue of?" And my dad looks at her and he goes, "Parker, you know who that is?" And she goes, "No, I don't. Who is it?" And Dad goes, "That's Jesus." And my daughter goes, "That's not Jesus. That's a statue of a white man." And my dad looked at me, and I looked at my dad, and he goes, "Yeah, all right." All right, back to you.
You know what I think is funny
I love
too?
it.
Next time somebody says to me, "Have you found Jesus?" I'm going to say, "He's in Act 2." Round 2 on my show. That's where he's at.
That was round 3, penultimate round. For the record.
Round 3, penultimate round. Back
All
to
right. For my penultimate round, we're gonna kick it off with for my penultimate mound, we're gonna kick it off with Who Will Save Generation X posting a picture of like a small stuffed toy koala. Looked like it's tucked in bed, blanket on a pillow, and it's got a larger Kermit the Frog puppet with its hand gently on the koala's head, and the koala is labeled 8-year-old me homesick, and the Kermit the Frog is labeled Bob Barker and The Price is Right. And if you grew up at a certain time, if you were sick, it was Bob Barker, chicken noodle soup, Sprite, 7-Up if you were bougie, and you know that was it, man. And the saltine crackers
And barfing.
lots of barfing. Okay,
Yep,
moving on.
Kids don't barf as much as they used to.
But when they do, I think they have more volume.
Diane listening at work says, and PBS, very true.
Yeah,
Oh,
lots
yeah.
of Mr. Rogers and Frugal Gourmet.
Guys, you wouldn't believe it. There were shows that would teach you metric. When I was a kid, I learned all the metric. I was really good at it. And then we didn't.
Because that would make sense. America.
Yep.
All right. Friend of the show, friend of mine, friend of yours, Blunts and Bongs. They post a simple question. What are you going to be for Halloween? Me, high as fuck. Thank you.
That's true.
I think that's all we need to say there.
Illinois.
Illinois, love you. Janks post again, just a simple saying of Sunny D tastes like someone made a bet they can make orange juice without oranges.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That is so true.